Welcome to the Fantasy Football Forge. My name is Steven. We are at another mock draft Monday. I'm going to start out, I'm probably going to do two in this video. I'm going to try to go with an early quarterback. I'm going to try to go with the number one quarterback here, Mahomes or Jalen Hurts, right off the bat. If you have not seen, I do have all of my rankings videos out, so check those out. I'm not 100%, I know I'm going to generally go into doing some strategy videos to figure out exactly a format that I want to do for my next series of videos and some topics maybe to include, and I'll stay on top of any breaking news as that starts to come out this time of the year. As we get into July, things should start to pick up. Draft season is going to be upon us. And other than that, I will be doing this draft with my rankings, my overall rankings. I said it last video, I really don't like going from an overall rankings when I draft. I have wide receivers, tight ends. I have each position separate on sheets as far as my rankings go. Another thing is I'm going to then delete my rankings after going in and just spending some time updating them. I'm going to take them off of here and go with the normal rankings that the website has just based on the ADP because I just find it easier. Will say one thing that I usually do with my own rankings that maybe could be a tip for you if you like to create your own rankings going in, is that I like to go a day or two ahead of my draft. I take all the current ADPs for each position, and then I just take the average of where I have them ranked and where the current ADP is, and so that way it kind of smushes guys closer to where I'm going to be expecting them to be drafted, especially guys who I may have, way ahead or way behind ADP. It just helps to get them a little bit in closer to where I should be expecting to see them go. So my board's a little bit more representative of the order that people or players are going to go in. I think that just makes for a better, more efficient draft. All right, so I got pick 11, which means I will be picking at the end of the third round. This is not a greatest spot from what I know for getting quarterback off the board there. All right, well, I was hoping to go CeeDee Lamb. I have a bunch of Saquon Barkley already. I feel more comfortable with Amon-Ra St. Brown than Devontae Adams. I would like to start wide receiver, so we'll go with that route. All right, and for my second pick, I'm going to go off of my board here. I'm just not going to get Bijan Robinson really anywhere, so I would like some stock in him. So we're just going to do that. Obviously, had several guys higher than him, but he fell a little ways in this draft, so why not? All right, so the guy between my two picks here has already gone with two wide receivers. I think it's a little weird with Lamar Jackson because if I take him with my third pick, it just feels like I'm taking him on the same level as those top three quarterbacks that go off of the board. It doesn't feel right, so I'm going to go Najee here. I'll think about taking Lamar Jackson here. Let's see what this guy does in between my two picks here. Another thing is, strategy-wise, when I have a long distance between my picks, I just like to look ahead and just make my targets. So that way, once I get to my, one of these back-end picks, I kind of know what my preferred board looks like and which positions I can work with then to hopefully get two of the guys on my current board as they dwindle down. Lamar Jackson, that jerk. So close. And so we will go with Keenan Allen. All right, so here's my current preference board. Tyler Lockett, J.K. Dobbins, George Kittle. Guy between me. I'm building a very consistent roster right now. I'm going to go with the top guy on my... Let's take a risk. See if Tyler Lockett can't make it back around. And we're going to take J.K. Dobbins. Nothing wrong with going three running backs early. Running back gets a little bit weird later on. So let's see what this guy between me does here. Yeah, he took Kittle, and that's all right. I was kind of wanted to go running back, wide receiver there. So I really like my roster so far. Got to double up on the bye here for the wide receiver spot. But all right, back up on the board. A lot of thoughts going in my head. I think wide receiver is going to be the most important here. And Brandon Cooks should hopefully actually provide a little bit of extra pop into my lineup, which is something that I need. Just looking at my roster, and like I said, I like it. It's consistent, I feel like, between Bijan, Najee, Amon-Ra, Keenan Allen. I don't know that I have a whole lot of pop. I know I'll want to get some pop later, which is where probably going to be going 2 quarterbacks soon. I think I'm okay waiting until the 110s, and I'll see what happens there. I'll go James Conner. No buy concerns at running back, so I'm going to be able to go thin at running back. I can probably just ignore that till later. And if I get 2 good quarterbacks around the next turn, then I could go maybe 3 tight end towards the end of the draft and then fill out some more good mid-round wide receivers. We'll see. All right, Juju goes right in front of me. I've been doing a lot of thinking. My next pick, I could pick up 2 guys who are going to stack with my roster. Well, I would need Greg Dulcich to stack. That's the one issue. But this opens up another quarterback stack potentially, I think, with Aaron, I suppose, if he were to fall a little ways. So we're running into this bye thing again, though, with Lazard. We might go 4 running backs. Really don't love that, just because they're so injury prone. So we're going to continue to just stay consistent here. We're going to take a tight end earlier than I was planning on it, but that's okay. All right. Kirk Cousins fell quite a ways in this draft. Usually ADP 111 goes at 130. So going to take Jared Goff here, stacks him up with Amon-Ra St. Brown. And unfortunately, tight end Greg Dulcich just went. So I was planning on actually taking him and then coming back around for Matt Stafford. I'm not dying to get any of these running backs. And like I said, I'm probably going to go thin at running back. So let's see here. Week 7, I believe, is an issue for my wide receivers. Jonathan Mingo it is, I believe. Week 7. Let's get some Rashee Rice. I love the guy. I think there's going to be an opportunity for him. And bye week is good. Derek Carr and Stafford got taken right in front of me. Well, that makes this... All right, so we'll go Sam Laporta here. And then probably a wide receiver. Well, we want upside at wide receiver. I don't think that's Jaden Reed. But that could be Rashid Shaheed. I think that's my best chance for some explosive games. So we'll go with that. Okay, so there are 4 picks left. I've pretty much got my board set. I might go with a running back or a wide receiver. I think I'm not positive yet on that one. Still need 2 quarterbacks, so probably going to be doing that around my next turn, which might force my hand into the running back anyways. And then 1 more tight end to wrap it up, and I'll go 3 quarterback, 3 tight end. And hope for the hardest thing to hope for, which would be that running backs stay healthy, which is why it might be smart to get Chase Brown, but at the same time, if they stay healthy, wouldn't hurt to have 1 more wide receiver in here that could provide some pop. I don't know who provides pop at this point, really, though. We are forced. We need to take Brock Purdy here. Quarterbacks have definitely thinned out on me. I should have gone 1 quarterback a little bit earlier in the draft, maybe ahead of like Alan Lazard when I was contemplating around there, I think it was. And at this point, Curtis Samuel is going to be a good value. Yeah, we'll take Curtis Samuel. So that really helped to diversify my bye weeks for wide receiver down here. Running backs, we're just going to hope that they stay healthy enough to give me 2 of them every week, and hopefully they perform well. I did get them all rather high up in the draft. Boy. See, I can't even go Trey Lance. That would be 3 week 9 buys there. So Jimmy G it probably is. Otherwise, I wouldn't be opposed to CJ Stroud, Sam Howell, Ryan Tannehill. Wouldn't expect him to be there all season, but neither are we Brock Purdy or Trey Lance, who I'm willing to go. All right, so I'm just looking at everything, and right now my dream scenario, I'm going to go Michael Mayer, Jimmy Garoppolo, get that the stack hookup, Las Vegas hookup is what I was about to say. Between the 2, bye weeks aren't a concern even overall, because I think, there's a chance my tight ends during weeks 5 or 7 might need to pitch in at my flex spot, depending on the health of running backs and whatnot at that point. So if they have good weeks, that'd be good. And I'm not going to have much exposure to Michael Mayer myself, so this is a chance to get him. So I kind of like that. See if it works out. I knew it right in between me. Jimmy Garoppolo goes, I probably should have taken him first, looking at who he had taken. So that sucks. Gosh. You know what? I guess we're going to stack up our Bijan picks. So that is the roster. Jared Goff, Brock Purdy, Desmond Ridder at quarterback. So the thing about quarterback is it's the most steady Eddie position that there is in general. Most weeks, guys don't have bad games for the most part. So, we'll see. The Brock Purdy, hopefully he's back. I have concerns about the health and how he'll be when he comes back. But I also have him ranked fairly well. So I think higher than average ranker anyways. So we'll take it. Running back Bijan, Najee, J.K. Dobbins, James Conner. So all fairly highly taken and just hoping for some good health there for this roster. It all comes down to a little bit of luck with these things. So it is what it is. Wide receiver, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Keenan Allen, Tyler Lockett, Brandon Cooks, Alan Lazard, Rashid Rice, Rashid Shaheed, Curtis Samuel. So some steady Eddie, a little bit of pop in there. And then Pat Freiermuth, Sam Laporta, Michael Mayer. Hopefully Sam Laporta and Michael Mayer can have a few good rookie games, and Pat Freiermuth should be able to hold it down most weeks. So, we'll see there. Tight end's the most inconsistent position, so I'm okay being a little bit risky there anyways. So that's the roster. Let me know what you think about this one. I'm going to go eat some food, and I'll be right back for the second draft. And we're off already. And we'll go Tyreek Hill. All right, so we are going to go. We got the third pick. Should be in a good position to get a quarterback, one of the top ones. Yay. I have also deleted my rankings, so working off of the ADP rankings instead here. I got rushed the last second for filming here. I think I would have wanted running back, knowing that I'm going to go quarterback early in this draft. But we'll see how this works out. All right, a couple of things quick for this pick. First of all, I would recommend taking the quarterback here at the 3-3 around the turn. Part of the reason is if you have guys in a similar tier, I don't see much of a reason of taking the first guy in a tier. I'd much rather get like the back end of tiers in general, just because they're on the same platform. But we're going to go Patrick Mahomes. I do have Jalen Hurts ranked higher in my rankings, but I will say this, especially for purposes of this type of best ball draft here with Patrick Mahomes, I have little doubt that I'm going to need another quarterback, possibly any other week. Like he very well may not have a single bad week throughout the entirety of the season. So if you're ultra comfortable with that, we'll just have one more quarterback. We'll take that at like the end of the draft. So that's the nice thing about getting really any of these top quarterbacks, but especially I would say Patrick Mahomes. You feel real safe with that. Additionally, I wanted to take him just so that way you can kind of see the roster through the average draft thought on who the top quarterback is, and I'd be happy to have some exposure to Patrick Mahomes. Now, this is probably going to work out nicely here, yes, with Ramondre. Didn't think about this. Ramondre, I have really high. I think my running back 4, maybe. So in this sense, I get my wide receiver 2, running back 4, my QB 2. Either way, same tier, very well could end the season as the quarterback 1 in fantasy. Jalen Hurts just gives that extra spice on top with all the points that he can get on the ground. But a solid start there, I'd say. We'll just see how this Patrick Mahomes pick ends up shaping the team, the roster later on. But in order to help mitigate the taking a quarterback early, I will not be taking a tight end even as early as in the last draft. I will really just be taking 3 late tight ends is the plan. So my last 4 rounds should probably be tight ends and quarterback. I will say as far as quarterback goes, maybe I'd take one a little bit earlier than that. There is a definite drop-off after like the top 20, 24 quarterbacks. Like Matt Stafford might be nice to take. Looks like everybody between me both took quarterback, so that's, I wish they hadn't. And wide receiver just got taken. There is no way both of these guys make it through. But yeah, so we will go. I go Christian Kirk. I have him a little bit higher than DJ Moore in my rankings, and yeah, believe in the quarterback as far as passing goes a little bit more. Wish I had my rankings right now between Kenny Walker, Aaron Jones. I think I have Aaron Jones ranked higher. I think that also opens up the potential for Jordan Love as my other quarterback. All right, I will go Treylon Burks with this pick. If I was in a regular draft, I would, especially if one of the Kyle Pitts had fallen to me. Dallas Goedert, I'm starting to get a little bit concerned about, but I would be pretty darn happy to take a tight end around here. It's just, this isn't a redraft league. It's best ball. It's a little bit different, I think, especially at the tight end in best ball. If I take three guys, I might get similar productivity at the end of the day, minus a few weeks of the year if they can alternate when they start to go off. Because all tight ends are pretty darn inconsistent, even the best of them, outside of like a last season type of Travis Kelce season. So, yeah, you know, it's nice to have those good ones on your roster, but it's not necessary for a winning team, especially in best ball. I'm going to continue to go back and forth. I think I don't feel like I'm missing out on too much. I would have liked Jordan Addison. It would have been great. But we're just going to continue this seesaw here. No bye week issues with DeAndre Swift. It's close between him and David Montgomery. Very close. But I think DeAndre Swift has higher potential, especially on a week in and a week out basis. Season long, David Montgomery might score more points. All right, we're one pick ahead of me. Here is what I'm currently looking at. Added a quarterback in here. Do you think that would be interesting to add Anthony Richardson to Patrick Mahomes? Ultimately, I would like to probably go two wide receivers here. And we will go... Ooh, that's tough. I know I have Cortland Sutton ranked higher, so we'll go with the rankings on that. I forgot to look over here. Zay Flowers is available. I do have Cortland ranked higher than Zay. That would have been interesting. I'm going to take Jamison Williams off here. Bye week. That'll start to create a bye week concern. And also Juju. No, he's not with Kansas City anymore. That doesn't work like that. I'm panicking. I'm going to take Anthony Richardson, so my quarterbacks are set up. I'm going to regret that down the road. If there's anybody who's going to be able to outscore Patrick Mahomes 3 weeks this year or something like that, the ceiling for Anthony Richardson is insane. It's every bit, maybe not every bit. It's Jalen Hurts-esque, so it's always possible you can have 2 rushing touchdowns, 3 total touchdowns, maybe all 3 rushing once this year or something. I guess I was looking a little too far ahead. And, you know, we're going to take a shot here on Odell Beckham. Why not? All right, and I love this. I mean, Damian Harris, it's interesting. I just think Devon A-Chain's got a higher ceiling for sure. I think he has a good chance of becoming real good fantasy guy this year. All right. Well, we are going to take Rashee Rice. I'm probably going to go 2 wide receivers here. So the main reason I'm not taking a running back here is of my thoughts on Chase Brown. Really love him, and I don't think I've taken him for a few drafts, so it should be around my next turn available. And I guess we will go with Tyquan Thornton here. That'll give me a little bit more diversity on the bye weeks there for the wide receivers. Okay. Probably going to pop early on running back. And I think I'll go John Mechie here. All right, so just looking at the running backs, I mean, Deonta Foreman, I wouldn't be totally opposed to going. Raheem Mostert, I don't think makes any sense for me to go with Devon A-Chain. We know I love Chase Brown. I'm not super excited about too much else there, especially for this type of ball. So my next pick is pick 190. Chase Brown's ADP, but between the tight ends and him If you can look at these ADPs, they're all pretty much back there at this point in the draft, and I like the upside of Chase Brown more than any of these guys, really. While I'm looking around, I will say earlier, had a running back been there, or maybe a tight end that I really like, something like that, instead of taking John Mechie, Josh Downs, could have gotten a little bit later. Would have been nice to pair up with Anthony Richardson. Definitely could be Anthony Richardson's safety valve this year. One of my favorite, my wide receiver 3 in the NFL draft this last season. I just concerned about Anthony Richardson's accuracy and how many times they're going to actually throw the ball. So many questions leading into the rookie wide receiver. It's not like there's not talent otherwise in that receiving game on that roster. That is tough to really draft him any higher than where he basically is. But I do see potential upside with Josh Downs. That would not have been a bad route to go there. Be clear to stack him up with Anthony Richardson. All right, we're going to start this off with Luke Musgrave, very up and down tight end. Thought about the strategy here. I would rather pair who I think will be a boom or bust tight end with more consistent guys. So that would be somebody like Hayden Hurst. I do have Jake Ferguson ranked higher myself than Hayden Hurst. But either one of them, I think, should be getting a fair amount of targets. Hayden Hurst maybe even gets a few more, higher percentage of the team's targets, but that could be a less efficient offense. And so Jelani Woods, I'm going to drop behind Cade Otton. Ultimately, this is what I would like to see. Jake Ferguson here, and then Cade Otton with my final pick. And so Jake Ferguson, it will be here. Another nice thing, I made sure I actually put them in the order that I had them originally here, was also by their bye weeks. So I wouldn't take 2 of the same bye weeks, so I will have all different bye weeks here with these tight ends. Upon second thought, how about we just go with Jelani Woods, because we have Anthony Richardson here to stack him up with. Why not? Makes some sense. So here is the roster: Patrick Mahomes, Anthony Richardson, and at quarterback, then Ramondre Stevenson, Aaron Jones, DeAndre Swift, Devon Achane, and Chase Brown for my running backs. Then we have Tyreek Hill, Christian Kirk, Treylon Burks, Cortland Sutton, Odell Beckham, Rashee Rice, Tyquan Thornton, John Mechie for my wide receivers, Luke Musgrave, Jake Ferguson, Jelani Woods for my tight ends. Hopefully Jake can be Mr. Consistent. I mean, I wouldn't mind if either of these two are consistent, but out of the 3, the highest chance I think would be Jake Ferguson to give me some sort of a floor here, and then Luke and Jelani Woods can hopefully provide me some pop here and there in my lineup. And I'm sure there'll be some pop weeks for Jake Ferguson too along the way. I'm just looking at the roster. I should probably provide a little bit of analysis before heading out here on the roster as far as going Patrick Mahomes early. So I don't mind it. I like it more than when I went like Travis Kelce in the first round. It's a little bit later, so you get a little bit more stacked up top in some of these important positions, wide receiver and running back. All the more. And so I like that about this. I really don't mind this for best ball. You're just going to take a little bit of luck with them alternating weeks as far as when they go off. I think best case scenario, I could get 9 to 11 weeks of like 10, 12 plus fantasy point games out of him. Luke Musgrave, I would say, could have the most of those weeks. He probably has the most high-end talent here. 2 to 5 weeks like that throughout the season. I'd say 3 to 4 for Jake Ferguson, just because of better quarterback situation, offensive situation. Jelani Woods, maybe like 2 of those this season or something like that. If they don't overlap with each other, then that's awesome. The main thing here is the depth at wide receiver. I wouldn't really want to give up the depth that I got here early on for the running back position, but by going Patrick Mahomes, I do feel that and not going with some sort of 0 RB type strategy, which I don't think really works for best ball, then this wide receiver 3 spot feels very much up for grabs on a week in and week out basis. So I just don't feel super strong there, and thus the flex spot, although I have a lot of guys who can fill it out, is maybe a little bit weak as well. So wide receiver 3, flex do get hurt a little bit by going quarterback early here. And, part of that problem could be grabbing Anthony Richardson here. But ultimately, you think that means I would have gotten a different wide receiver here probably, or a fourth running back, which I like Devin Achane for the RB4 just fine. I don't know that really hurt it all that much either. So, yeah, that's my analysis on it. I don't mind grabbing grabbing a guy between picks 90 to 120 as your second quarterback. Even if you go Patrick Mahomes, you could hold off on that though, and just be a little bit stronger in these, in your wide receiver or at your running back spot. I wouldn't really want to be weaker than this for running back by much. So other than that, that would be the only difference. And you make up in your own mind if somebody between Courtland Sutton and Odell Beckham on your list would have really made a difference to this roster. I don't know, especially when you're 8 wide receivers deep. You're going to get some stuff from some of these guys. So, yeah, that is it. Now, thank you very much for watching. Hope you have a good one. I will see you soon. Like, comment, subscribe, please. It's very much appreciated. Probably won't be up until like Friday for my next video, and then I should have that, whatever this next series will look like, created. So, thank you. Peace out.